I'm going to share one big secret, especially for the beginners of Call of Dragons. The war pets, which you can see, which you can catch every single reset once, twice, or three times a day, they are not just an accessory, they are one of the most important features in the game. And trust me, if you are making a march with two heroes, your war pets are dealing damage as your third hero. So you can understand how important war pets are in the Call of Dragons for PvP. And trust me, if you haven't tried Call of Dragons PvP, you are missing out a lot, right? Because of that, I'm gonna share that war pets feature are one of my favorite features of the game. And as an archer player, since the war pets came out in the game, I gave a lot of attention towards war pets in this game, right? I'm gonna share my builds, I'm gonna share my ideas, hero pairs, attributes, skills, how to upgrade them, and hopefully it will be helpful for you guys, right? So let's dive in and let's start with my first ever warped, which I finally managed to get a 3-star. This SNOWPEAK rock will have been with me since the first day when like warped features was introduced, right? What's the beauty of this SNOWPEAK rock is about concentration, but before that, let's speak about attributes, right? I think in order for you to have a good like warped in terms of dealing damage, attributes are one of the most important. That's why fruits and some other items are adding to the game, which allows us to increase the attribute points, right? So basically, you have to have S tier attribute on luck, agility, and strengths. S tier doesn't really mean that like 200 S tier points on luck wouldn't be really good choice. I think at least 250, 300 is a great. Why luck, agility, and strength, right? It connected to the skills. With the skills, so for example, for concentration, for advanced concentration, and for intense concentration, we have the primary attribute luck. So higher luck, you're gonna have more damage this skill is going to deal, right? So that's the beauty of having high amount of attributes, and the reason for that is to get the legendary warped, right? So right now, in terms of warped, concentration is the skill for the archer hero pairs, which are dealing damage by the skill and has a synergy with defense break. That's the idea. And whole synergy about SNOWPEAK rock and the skills are that we are just making the concentration as like powerful as possible. So we're gonna use it as much as possible, and it will deal a lot of damage. Plus, it's a pretty cool additional buff, Legion physical attack, increasing percentage, which is really good, especially for archers, right? Generally, when we are speaking about archer heroes, there is like couple of skills which you have to know that it's good, right? Chain Strike and Intense Chain Strike are the skills which are almost necessity for almost every single war pet for the archers, right? So I think this build with my scenario, because every single scenarios are different. For some people, you might have 8 slot and you might have 300 lag. That's different, right? But in my case, I will share my idea, right? I went to get concentration as good as possible and chain strike, chain strike for additional normal attack damage, crit rate and crit damage in order for us to crit whenever we're gonna use concentration. So our main damage source might crit more, and it will deal almost double damage, right? Also, for the hero pairs, I think generally every single hero pair will be great for the SNOWPEAK rock, whichever has defense breaks, such as Kinara, Nico, Sibyl, right? This should be the 3 heroes which this SNOWPEAK rock will work amazingly well, and also in some cases with the Falgrim, right? I also have some reports which I can share. Like last night, I was trying to fight. Well, I guess I was dealing damage to one of the best infantry players in my KVK, but still, it will be pretty cool. This guy has the maxed out infantry with the I don't know. Wait, this is not the person. We should go. Yeah, here, right? Yeah, this should be the better report here. Yep. This is the one. Well, no, that's the... all right. Let's get the report. Let's get the report. Yeah. So, for example, SNOWPEAK rock, as I said, right? It feels like the Warped is basically the third hero, right? And we can see 6.4k damage from the Nico and 6.4k damage from the SNOWPEAK Rogue. Now we can, and like our Warped was kind of highest damage dealer. If you're gonna count direct skill damage, which we applied towards the enemy, and enemy is of course infantry, tier 4 or tier 5 player, right? So basically, that's the skill concentration dealt 5.1k damage. That's the idea behind making concentration as good as possible. And as I said, chain strike and intense chain strike is the another synergy which gonna deal damage by normal attack. And basically, if you are playing with archers, you're gonna deal damage with the normal attack, right? So that's the idea behind my build. Of course, it would be even better if I could have more slots and even more like luck and strengths, but maybe in the future I will regenerate. But so far, I think it's fine to have this Warped on Kinara and Nico. Like right now, I'm just using Craig. This is Kinara's Warped, and if you are an Archer player, I'm pretty sure you kinda have to have at least one good SNOWPEAK Rogue, which is really good in my opinion with the stats of physical attack and some defense break synergies, right? The second Warped which I want to share is of course from the best archer hero pair in the game. That's Shadow Manticore. Of course, I'm trying my best to make this Shadow Manticore as good as possible because I'm currently working on it. I'm even trying my best to regenerate because the main attributes for Shadow Manticore is luck, agility, and strength. And in my case, I have 8 years on luck and agility, and I'm just trying to make those two S tier, and maybe if I will get super lucky, maybe one more slot, right? But if I'm still working on this warped, doesn't mean I can't share my idea how it will end up. So basically, try to get luck at least on 300. It will be amazing. Strengths, well, my strength is nice. If you're gonna get at least like this, it will be cool. And at least 250 or close to 300 agility will be amazing. And at least 7 or 8 slots, that will be perfect, right? In terms of skills, barbarism, of course, I'm trying my best to make this barbarism 3-star. You can see I'm trying to get it. So far 1.3k experience, not a lot, but yeah, I'm just trying my best to make it as fast as possible, right? I'm gonna tell about advanced barbarism. There is one big important moment about this warped. If you don't have advanced barbarism, basically you shouldn't really use Shadow Manticore. Sand Lizard is way better, right? So that's the reason I have not been using this Warped. This KVK, I finally got this skill, and soon I'm gonna share the report, and you guys will understand why I'm saying about advanced barbarism, right? Same idea. I generally like the talent skills, which are increasing direct damage, and intense barbarism is a good one. I'm also will get this intense barbarism at least on 2 stars. That's kind of mandatory. And of course, as I have mentioned, one of the most important secondary skills for archers, that's the chain strike and intense chain strike. In terms of blood roar, well, yes, because this is a skill, and if we're gonna create great, because in general, like Magrat and Zaida create themselves from their skills. In terms of this hit weakness, it's just for a couple of KVKs until I'm gonna get the advanced chain strike, and advanced chain strike will be the last skill which I'm gonna replace hit weakness, because healing for Magrat and Zaida is amazing, and of course I'm gonna add more healing from advanced chain strike, which gonna make my warped and my hero pairs way more survivable, right? As I promised, I'm gonna share the report from the Magrat and Zaida. Generally, I have way more merits with Magrat and Zaida since I got that advanced barbarism, right? Let's check this merit, 8.7k. That's kind of good merit, like in order for us to check damage. And yeah, as you can see, right? Of course, Magrat and Zaida won't gonna do a skill damage because they have passives on their main skills. Their main way of dealing damage is basically normal attack, right? But we can check, right? Advanced barbarism, first of all, because strength is our like highest attribute, and it also deals the highest damage. But this skill dealt 4.3k damage, right? And barbarism dealt 2.3k damage. That's also good. Also, we have chain strike synergy because we are like throwing a lot of normal attacks. we're gonna have 2.3k damage from intense chain strike, right? That's the idea of this build. Whenever I'm gonna like remove hit weakness and add advanced like chain strike, we're gonna have way more heals. So advanced barbarism and barbarism will deal even more damage towards enemy, right? I think if you want your Magro Tensaiza to be more offensive with some heals, you want to get Shadow Manticore, you want to have 3 stars on this, and you want to get advanced barbarism, and then you can actually use this warpage, right? At some point, I'm gonna get the advanced chain strike, and that's it. This warped will be built, but even before that, I will try to get lag on like S tier for sure, at least close to 300, because that's the one I want to have because of barbarism, right? The third warped which I want to speak is of course a Nitroke. This is the warped which is amazing for normal attack crit rate users, for that type of archers. Primary attributes for Nitroke is of course luck, agility, and strength. And as you can see, I don't have really much of a luck in like warped attributes. I still need to get S tier on the Nitroke, right? Simply because I'm not using Syndron and Freygar. I did not put too much attention towards Nitroke, but without that, I'm just still gonna share my thoughts and ideas, right? I think Ravage is amazing skill, especially for Syndron and Freygar. This is the 2 hero pair, which is just crit rate normal attacker. Basically, you can also use Nitroke with Magro Tensaiza. They also do crit, but Magro Tensaiza basically prefers more to get heals rather than crit rate, right? Additional, like normal attacks have 30% chance to deal additional damage, determined by the luck. As I said, I like the additional damage with the talent skills, and of course, you kinda have to get advanced Ravage, right? Ravage additional trigger chance. Basically, 3 stars will be 10%, and we're gonna have like 40% chance to do more damage by landing a crit. Of course, as always, Chain Strike synergy with Intense Chain Strike. I would love to have more slots here. Basically, this Nitroke needs to have needs some more work. I just don't use Syndron and Freygar. That's the reason I skipped Nitroke. And whenever I understood that Magro Tensaiza was coming out, of course, I took my attention towards Shadow Manticore and Magro Tensaiza, right? In terms of the newest warped, which is also great with skill damage user defense break heroes, of course I'm gonna work on this warped as soon as I'm gonna finish Shadow Manticore. And yeah, I'm gonna share my ideas how my Barbed Manticore will be built. Of course, I'm gonna regenerate more to get luck, agility, and strength. That's all we got. We already understand how well these attributes work with archers. And in terms of skills, well, here we have a puncture. I would also get all the puncture skills, as I have mentioned. Like pure damage is great. Thorned mark, that's like intense puncture is actually really important, right? Chain strike synergy with intense chain strike. I'm pretty sure I won't gonna use advanced chain strike on this warped because it's basically skill damage and defense break. Crit rate, fatal bite, tooth of the claw. That should be the idea which I'm going to go from here, right? I won't gonna be going for first attack and intense first attack because generally fights happen so fast that you only cast your rage only once. And yeah, like that's not enough for first attack. If we had more skills in order for us to get more rage on heroes and in general on markers, of course, first attack would have higher value, right? In terms of puncture, well, deals physical damage to target and inflicts defense break, defense minus 5% for 3 seconds, but the beauty about this skill is that if you have already applied defense break with your heroes such as Nico, Kinara, Sibyl, right? You will get 50 rage and deal more damage. So I think that's great. We can already see the synergy. Like if you already apply defense break on your enemy, your puncture just gonna deal more damage. If you don't have defense break hero pair for Barbed Manticore, puncture just gonna apply defense break on the enemy, which is not that bad, right? I always rated defense break in this game, and I think defense break, especially against infantry players, are amazing, right? This is the archer warpeds, which I think are great. I'm gonna share one more warped, one more secret warped, which I think will be great for Archer hero pair, and that's in my opinion Berserker Frederick. I think this warped will be great with Kinara hero pairs, Kinara Sibyl, Kinara Musyang, Kinara Nico. Basically you need to apply as much defense break as possible, and I think Kinara applies a lot. In general, control hero pairs apply a lot of defense break, and that's the reason why I think Berserker Frederick will be amazing for Kinara hero pairs, right? Unfortunately, I don't have enough resources to build Berserker Frederick myself. Maybe in the future, if I will build the more important ones, I will take my attentions towards this, but Arrogance basically deals more damage when you apply more debuffs to the target, and Kinara and Sibyl and Musyang and all of these heroes are getting just too much debuffs on enemies, and I wonder if Arrogance will be dealing a lot of damage. Plus, attack range is mid-range, which is basically the range for archers, so that's also one more important part. And yeah, I think in general for Berserker Frederick, yet again, if you're gonna use archers and Kinara Sibyl or Kinara Musyang, Chain Strike, Intense Chain Strike, even like Blood Roar and Fatal Bite, right? Because we want like our hero pair's main damage dealer thing will be Berserker Frederick, and meanwhile Kinara and Sibyl will be dealing a lot of debuffs to enemies, which I hope I could try it, but unfortunately I don't have good Berserker Frederick, or I don't even have one, and that's the reason I can't really show the strengths of that heroes, right? That's my experience from like almost 800 days of gameplay with the Warpeds. As I have mentioned, if you don't have good Warped, it will be really rough for you at the end game in Garrison, in rallies, in PvP, in wars, in 1 versus 1, in statue fights. So I think Warpeds needs your attention because it's a daily tasks. Catching Warpeds, upgrading your main talents, and that's how you're gonna get good Warpeds at the end of the day. Hopefully this small guide will be helpful for you guys. If it was, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.